Hey, what's up, investors? My name is Devin Moreno. I'm a Baltimore City investor. I'm here with Kevin Franklin, who is an electrician here in Baltimore City. This is part of our series on what investors need to know about investing in Baltimore City. So we're going to cover electrical, and I'm sure a lot of investors get jammed up on electrical. Is that right?
You have no idea.
So, let's start there. What are some of the biggest mistakes you're seeing a lot of new investors come in making, and it just holds up their renovation projects or what they're doing?
Well, first thing, they come in, make sure that the house had inspections, you know. And even if you didn't get an inspection, you want to make sure an electrician came through and looking at your work. Because once the walls go up, you created for all the problems that go along the house.
Yep.
One of the main things I always look for, people remodel kitchens and they put these, used to be a hood fan, they add a microwave up there. That wire is not compatible to hold a microwave. So 2 minutes after that microwave running, the whole breaker trip.
So they'll just swap it out and not even consider the electrical part of that.
When you do a home inspection, everything look great because you're not living in the house.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's different. Then you move in, you got your microwave going, you got your toaster going, all of a sudden you look up and like, what happened? Because they put a beautiful dress on his house, but they didn't change nothing else underneath.
All right, so we're going to cover a lot more of those type of things, renovations. Just so you know, for the channel, for this video, if you hear some noise in the background, we are actually covering him while he's at an active renovation site. So he's always busy. But let's talk about it. The renovations, talk about for rentals. Let's talk about for maybe even like heaters and stuff. I know you do a lot of work around that. So just continuing with the renovation though first. What other things? So you're wiring it up. I mean, panels. Actually, you know what? Let's even cover that.
Yeah.
What kind of panels should we be? Go ahead.
Well, it's not a kind. Well, everybody know about the Federal Pacific panel. You walk in the house with you can Google it. Federal Pacific panel is outlaw.
So for our new investors out there, Federal Pacific, that's the brand of the electric panel?
That's the brand of the electric panel they used back in the 72, you know, found out they used aluminum wire, found out they made a big mistake. Even investors, inspectors, they want you to get them out the house right away because the breakers are known not to trip, and which can cause a fire or melt at the outlet. So, yeah, that's key.
So if you see Federal Pacific, you should automatically know you're changing that pan.
Right.
Okay.
I'm dealing with something right now, and I told the lady I gave her a great price just to get it out the house. It's not about the money. It's about getting it out the house and putting something nice in or something reasonable in.
Is there a certain amperage you would recommend? Like, because I know the panels have a 100 amp panel, you have 150, and then the 200 amp panels. Is there usually a recommendation on that when you're swapping it out?
Well, no. Now, if you sell in a house, 150 always a good seller. But if you have 100 and you got gas in the house, you don't need much. And all depends by the square footage of your house, how much going on in the house. If you don't have a yard and you got 200 amp, where else you going with that? Unless you had planned on adding on with it. But,
so it's just extra. So extra amperage isn't doing anything helpful for your house.
Right.
Okay.
You know, one of the main things I would look at when if I purchase a house, I'm going to the panel and I'm going to check I'm going to label, have the panel label.
Yeah.
You learn more about the house by how the panel's labeled. I did a house not too long ago. I labeled the panel just for a home inspection. After I found out the garbage disposal is hooked up to it, the sub pump is hooked up to it, and all the outlets in the kitchen is hooked up to it.
So the electrician sucks, basically.
Right. But so when that sub pump kick on, that microwave come on at the same time, the young lady gonna have an issue.
All right. So you recommend? I know. So going on panels, we actually just the last question I have on it is there's 100, 150, 200. Is there an easy way for me to go in the house and tell and look at the panel without hiring an electrician, or is that just your answer? Usually, I look at the number of breakers, but
no, you fine. The main breaker tell you to determine the size.
Okay, the main breaker.
Yeah, you see that 100 amp at the top.
There you go.
150 or 200. And if you don't have it, you go out back. It might be a disconnect. They have a main shut off in back of the house, and they'll tell you the same thing.
Okay.
You know, and that's about it.
All right. So then that covers the panels. Talking about wiring, we see you guys running a lot of white and yellow cable kind of all over the place. As far as the kitchen seems to be the main one you guys are focused on. When you're talking about a gut renovation, where are the main conversations happening that fluctuates this price? Like, is it what we want to do in the kitchen? How many bathrooms?
Yeah, the kitchen always changes the price. Kitchen, the bathrooms, they always say they're the best sellers in your house.
Okay.
You know, and that's what people look at, how nice the kitchen is, what the bathroom look like, you know. And most of those, the kitchen always carry a heavy gauge wire anyway, a 12 wire, because anything with machine, you concerned about it tripping the breaker. So if you use a heavier gauge wire, use 14-2, don't belong in the kitchen really.
Okay.
You know?
All right. So like basically, then you got the every appliance. I think you mentioned that every appliance is hooked up to its own line or should be.
Close, not everyone, but every other one, or like the microwave should have its dedicated circuit.
Okay.
You know, microwave, dishwashers.
So don't try to daisy chain off of outlets.
Right, right. Yeah. Some people do, and then but you can't mix and match the wires together. You can't take a piece of 12 wire and mix it with a piece of 14-2. You know, because the 12 wire, the breaker's saying I'm giving you 20 amps. The wire is compatible. I mean, the breaker is compatible. The wire is not. So eventually that wire is going to melt, and eventually it'll melt together, and then they're going to stop working. You know.
Okay. So another thing I've seen specific to Baltimore City here is knob and tube wiring, and I've run into that a couple times where one, I guess you can't daisy chain off of it.
No, most definitely you can't daisy chain off of it.
All right. Do you just recommend getting rid of it?
A lot of knob and tubing is done using lighting circuit only. If it's not damaged, I don't recommend you tear your house out just to take the knob and tubing out. But if you're doing new work and you run into it, yes, let's get rid of it.
Okay.
But just because I can tell you got knob and tubing in your house, I don't recommend you. So I'll tell you, cut these ceilings open just to get the knob and tubing out.
So it's actually perfectly fine to be in your house if you're not disturbing it.
Right. If it's not disturbed and you can't, like you say, daisy, or we call pigtail off of it. You can't add old circuits and new circuits together.
So what you always hear about knob and tube catching on fire. Is that common? And what's the liability to the investor where they may be like, just get rid of it anyway? Like, what do you think?
Well, when it comes to electric, most people are afraid of it catching on fire. If it's not damaged, if it's not it's more likely not much going to happen to it. It's when you try to pigtail off of it or add another circuit to it, and you overload that circuit, that knob and tube, and get crispy and start crumbling up. You know, if you leave well enough alone, it's fine. But once you open it up, okay, I'll say let's get rid of it.
Okay. All right. So it covers what, knob and tube, Federal, Pacific. Is there anything other specific things in Baltimore that you've run into a lot that hems investors up on the gut renovation?
What I call Johnny Homeowner. First thing when you want to go, you want to see, you can tell by the work, you can go in your laundry room, any room that is wide open, and look at the wire and see, have this done by a real electrician, or have Johnny Homeowner just do some stuff together.
Like someone who's just
just did his own work because he knew how to make it work, but he don't know, the long term on what can happen, at the end.
He's just trying to cut corners.
Right. Electric work fine when you first start it up, but over a period of time, that's when your problems come in.
Okay. All right. So so definitely, I guess it's when you buy it from a homeowner. If you buy, now I know a lot of flipped houses, investors cut corners when trying to flip houses, and we're going to get into the whole permit bit of this too. But what corners are you commonly seeing that we should worry about when we buy a flipped house? Like, what are they normally? Or is it the ones you just named with a daisy chaining?
The kitchen, they cut corners using the long wire in the kitchen. That's once you got your kitchen intact, anything else is easy.
Yeah.
But sometimes they cut corners and add too many things on that same breaker or that same circuit.
This is saving wiring because the wiring's expensive.
Right.
Especially during pandemic time.
And so we can make it work, but until you move in, then you realize my whole counter is on the same circuit, and I got 8 outlets, and I'm trying to run my waffle on, my microwave, my blender, and all of a sudden I throw a party and I got a problem.
So a lot of people, for the permits, as far as electrical goes, there's parts that are required, like the arc fault circuit breakers and all that. Can you explain a little bit of what about the permit process will make the job just more expensive? Just right off the jump, like let's say as opposed to doing it without?
Well, talk about the arc fault breakers. They the new things by code. All depends when your house was built. That's the code you got to go by. Some of them is just on bedroom only. The new code is the whole house should be on arc fault breakers.
Yeah.
And that's electric. If it's a 1% of something happened, they like to cover it. You know,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. The off-off breaker is supposed to trip in case you pour something out and it shut the wire off, the breaker off. The wire can't melt, can't burn. There's no power going through there, just through the littlest bit of arc.
Yeah.
So that's the whole purpose of them. You know?
Okay. Is there any other like things that get added in the code? Is that pretty much the main thing? Otherwise, just do it to code, and that's.
Mostly they just doing things to code.
Okay.
And that's why you have your inspections. And then if you don't, like I said, you can always go online and look up and see what last time your work was done. Like I said, the key thing, if you're not worrying about inspections, make sure it's done by a real electrician.
Yeah.
And you can, like I said, you can go and look in an empty room and see the wire staple. It's the details about electric that make a good electrician.
So what details, like stapling the wire? What if I wanted to evaluate as a new investor, or those watching the channel, like to figure out you're a good electrician or not? What are key things you're trying to pay attention to?
Well, first thing I notice, if I look behind the wall and I see wire racks, if I see how neat the wire is stapled, if I open up the box and I see clean work. Now, if I open up the box and I see all these white wires shoved through it, yellow wire, too much sleeving, they just trying to make this work. You can tell, as soon as you open up a box, you can realize, this Johnny homeowner do this, or was it done by a real electrician?
Okay. And I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that one sign of a good electrician is when they turn all the screws on the outlets the same direction. Is that true?
Well, no. Well, we all have our little pet peeves. And that's one of mine. So all my screws gotta be straight up and down.
Okay.
Or they go, as long as they're consistent. You know what I mean? So it's just something you look at and go, oh no, I gotta fix this. And you just, it's not just he might turn his in a T, somebody else, but as long as they're consistent.
Okay.
You know? So just little details. Like I said, details everything. And that's what inspectors look for. They look at the detail of your work.
Okay.
You know? If they find something else, this missing a mud ring or missing something, a knockout or something.
Yeah.
The little things will make the inspector say, okay, this is nice, and walk away.
Okay.
But if he see other things, he won't like, okay, let's see what else they did here wrong.
Okay.
So then they start looking for other things, and they're like, okay.
So it's one of the last subjects we're going to cover before we wrap this one up. Let's talk about pricing, but I don't want to box you into a corner because as I always say to a lot of the investors on this channel, pricing is way variable depending on what the situation is. You got to rip open walls and all that. So let's talk about a range. If you were to do a gut renovation on a let's say a 1,500 square foot home, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, very typical here in the city, a kitchen with all standard appliances but no dishwasher, what kind of range would you expect to charge for a gut? Remember, all the studs are exposed. So
Well,
just kind of like a $2,000 or whatever, or is it too complicated to give an actual answer to that?
it is because the price of materials is way out of control now. So the prices that I could get before, I'm still learning as I go. I made a mistake on that one. I should have priced more. So the next house teach me a lesson. I learned from my lessons. But the prices jumping up and down, I'm easy. If somebody was doing a house for $8,000, look for 10. Look for 10 now.
Okay, so 10 now. All right, then.
Yeah.
And that's actually been pretty consistent amongst all the trades. Have all been bumping up to this pandemic.
Yeah.
So somewhere around like 10,000, somewhere in that ballpark, 8 to somewhere around that 10,000. So once again, it's going to depend on your very specific situation of your house and how fast you need it done, and hell, even your own personality probably might factor into your price. So, all right. So I mean, as far as before we wrap it up, like any other things that you think new investors really need to know about electric that they just keep getting jammed up on?
Nothing comes to mind.
Nothing comes to mind. I know I tried those wall heaters out, and that's an alternate heat source that I found for a lot of my cheaper rentals instead of using. Or actually, let's talk about those baseboard heaters because you see that a lot of times in these older homes. You recommend getting rid of them, or are they fine to keep?
Well, I'm the guy. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But when it's time to, and anytime you time to change something, I look for the newest upgrade.
Are they more energy efficient on the tenant's like electric bill, the new upgrades?
I believe so, but
Okay,
I can't tell you. I think they are. You know what I mean? Because they have their own temperature gauge, they can set and cut it off. They're not just running. I like them. I like them. I use them. Anytime I can get my house running on 120 than 240, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Then trying to think anything else that I remember that was my second rental, but after that, electric's been pretty straightforward from that point. You just have to know you're getting the right electrician.
Yeah.
So I'll say this: I hire Kevin all the time. If people actually want to reach out to you and hire you, where can they reach you at?
Call you.
Call me. All right, they will call me. Ignore this number on his shirt. Call me. So, okay.
No,
all right.
you can reach out, just K Franklin, Electric, and phone number.
You don't have to put the phone number
Right.
if you don't want to. If it's up to you.
That's
if you
fine.
prefer that.
That's fine.
All right, you prefer that. Reach out to me. You know me in the description below. You can reach out to my email so if you're interested in working with Kevin. But outside of that, I appreciate you talking with me about this. We'll do more videos in the future with all about electric. If you have any comments or questions about specific things to ask, just let me know. Comment below, and we'll talk to you real soon.